Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Beta 400, and of course, Mr. the Fanboy. Of course, the brown skinned human. Coming back at you with another video review. This time, a different video review. This is a series of video game, webcam, video game, and console reviews. This is my review of Mortal Kombat 11, 10 XL, which is also known as 10, and Killer Instinct 2013, and my review of my entire Xbox One console, a review and rant on my Xbox One console and monitor. I was gonna do this on my birthday, but I had a small I'm at a small malware problem, which I appear to have taken care of now. So finally, this video which should have been done on my birthday will happen right now. So, with that being said, let's get started right now. Let's show this console what I'm made of. The Xbox One is one of the best and worst video game consoles at the same time. And I'm going to be talking about the positives and negatives of this console in these series of videos right here, as is the games. As is the games. As is the games. So with that being said, let's get started. Let's show these consoles and video games what I'm made of. Hey everybody, it's time for part two of what I consider surprisingly to be the best Mortal Kombat game gameplay wise of the NetherRealm era. And that is Mortal Kombat XL, which is Mortal Kombat 10, the enhanced version with all of the content, with most of the content already unlocked. This game right here, along with Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat 11, were my sole reasons for purchasing an Xbox One. In this game, surprisingly, I only bought this game to play as the new characters: Kodo Kan, Takeda Kung Jin, and of course, characters returning, um, the guest characters: Jason Voorhees, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre character, and Freddy Krueger, the Predator, and the Alien based character who also guest stars. Returning from other games um Liu Kang, includes past Liu Kangs with his Mortal Kombat 1, 2, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and a middle age look Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Kitana, Scorpion, Sub Zero, Raiden, Ermac, Kenshi, and Kenshi, yeah, all of those characters returning from the previous Mortal Kombat games and the brand new gameplay. While this is still a 2E fighter, just like the previous one, this game uses a system similar to NetherRealm Studios' Injustice game, which was a much better game and a much better series. NetherRealm, in my opinion, does a much better job with DC property and lore than their own lore, which is Mortal Kombat, and the game itself is a fast-paced, updated version of Mortal Kombat 4, DC, DC, Killer Instinct, and Street Fighter 4. This one is much faster, much more fluent, and just overall much more exciting to play. Surprisingly, one of the best Mortal Kombat games gameplay-wise. Lots of action, content, content, a great cast of characters. There's some missing who should have been in this game and weren't, but a great cast of characters. Great cast of characters, several cool tournament ladders, challenge towers. You have your versus modes, and you have your extras mode you can view unlockables, such as the endings. And this is the game that debuted the Crypt, and this has a first person Crypt, which is even lamer. Instead of being a first person shooter or action type game, it's just a first person game. You walk around getting stuff. So yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb, and it would be even worse. It's dumber here, but it would be even worse and more pointless in the next one. Um Mortal Kombat 11. Now for the bad. And I'm about to start the story mode. And I'm about to start the crappy story mode right now in this version. This story mode was not only the worst Mortal Kombat storyline ever. Story mode was okay. It's a slightly enhanced version of the last two, Mortal Kombat versus DC and 9, with with um with ele- with elements of injustice, such as in-game button commands. I keep forgetting what you call it, but it's something that they debuted Injustice and they reused here. Um. Anyway, this storyline was the worst. Not only was the worst Mortal Kombat storyline, it was the worst. It was the worst storyline I've ever seen in video games. It was such a ripoff of Call of Duty Black Ops, which is much better. Than this. And this game reminded me of a modern version of Special Forces. Modern version of Special Forces. Do you really want to be that? A modernized version of Special Forces, widely considered one of the worst Mortal Kombat games of all time. Yes, our heroes in this game, since most of the good guys, the characters you want to see, Liu Kang, Kitana, Kung Lao, Ermac, Night Wolf, Cabal, Smoke, Cabal, Smoke, and Sub-Zero and Scorpion at the beginning of Sub-Zero, Smoke, and Jax at the beginning of the game before they are unleashed, before they're free from Quan Chi's spell, are undead revenants, leaving us with Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, Raiden, 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 Kenchi, and a new cast of characters who are offsprings, siblings, and children of the main characters who are now evil undead revenants. You have Cassie Cage, the son of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. You have Jacqui Briggs. You have Takeda, Kenchi's son, and you have Kung Jin, the nephew or cousin of Kung Lao, Kung Lao. You got Cassie Cage, the worst character ever created in Mortal Kombat. She is the Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel of Mortal Kombat, the Mary Sue of Mortal Kombat, and the worst protagonist of all the protagonists they've had in Mortal Kombat. Cassie Cage is the worst, especially when we get to what happens later in this game. So, but that's what we have: Raiden, Johnny Cage, Sonya, Kenchi, and a bunch of weak soldiers as our allies. And you got Scorpion and Sub-Zero in supporting mentor roles. When if Liu Kang is a bad guy in this game, they should be the main characters of the game. They're the next guys to take the mantle in this game. Fujin is in this game, but he's a non-playable character. He's an NPC, as is some of the Revenants: Sindel, Cabal, Striker, Nightwolf, Nightwolf, all the characters who died in the previous game, with the exception of Liu Kang, Kitana, and Kung Lao, are undead revenants. Are non-playable characters in this video game. Making way for new characters. I mentioned how much I love Kodo Khan. How much he's besides Geras, he's one of my favorite NetherRealm characters. Geras, Kodo Khan, Takeda, and Kung Jin. I like Takeda and Kung Jin, but I think they're stuck. You have Takeda, a discount Kenchi and Scorpion. Then you got Kung Jin, a discount lame Kung Lao and Liu Kang. Cool characters, but lame. Then you got Jacqui Briggs, who I love as a character, but I don't like her as a fighter, as a combatant, and as a defender of the realm. And I mentioned how much Cassie Cage sucks. How this game tries. They even had a comic book, which the comic book before this game was much better. Was much more exciting than playing this crappy story mode right here. It leads up into this game, but throughout that comic and game, they try to make you like her. She's just a lame Mari Sue. Well, anyway, so oh yeah, Serena's in this game, and she's a non-playable character, as is Lin May, who has been decombated. And Borai Cho is also in this game, and he's playable too, but he has a small role in the story mode. I especially would love to have Borai Cho as a main character. I don't know, maybe try to bring Liu Kang and Kung Lao back to the side of light. This story mode has so much potential, but was wasted. The storyline was so bad. I barely remember what it was. Oh yes, I remember now. It's an alternate world. It's an alternate world of Mortal Kombat 4. And I mean alternate world. Oh, it's been wrecked heavily. This plot is even dumber and more complicated and more stupid than Mortal Kombat 4 was. And Mortal Kombat 4 barely even had a storyline, and it was better than this. In this video game, Quan Chi is constantly trying to unleash Shinnok into Earthrealm. The first time he gets beaten by Johnny Cage, who supposedly has inherited this green energy move from a cult who trains warriors from the gods. Some stupid crap. I missed when he was just an enhanced being with magic with supernatural powers. And he defeats Shinnok, and Raiden traps him in the amulet. Then various people are trying to steal the amulet. First, you have various people are trying to steal the amulet. You have various people stealing the amulet, like Kano, Melina, Kodo Khan, and Scorpion learns from Sub-Zero that Quan Chi's role in his family's massacre, and Scorpion kills Quan Chi, which prevents the Revenants from being resurrected. But the Revenants should be resurrected anyway because it was Quan Chi's spell, and Quan Chi dying should unleash the spell. But no, in order to release the Revenants, Sonya has to do something even more stupid. She has to crush Quan Chi's balls. That's how a villain is defeated. A villain getting his balls crushed. And that unleashes Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Jax from his control. But because Scorpion kills Quan Chi, the other Revenants have to stay Revenants at the end of the game. That would have made up for everything in this game if you would have brought Liu Kang back to the side of light at the end of the game. Then it's at the end of the game. And before that, Cassie Cage, when Shinnok does finally get free, Cassie Cage defeats an upgraded form of Shinnok, which looks like a monster alien from Doom, and Cassie Cage defeats this character and saves Earthrealm. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden and Fujin should have defeated Shinnok, or have Liu Kang and them be returned to the side of light, and they once again take their place as Mortal Kombat champion and defeat Shinnok. And Raiden decapitates Shinnok and delivers his head to Undead Revenants, because for some odd reason Shinnok and Elder God can't die in this version, even though he was shown to be able to die in the previous version. But this storyline was dumb and complicated, and Shinnok and Quan Chi, I never saw them as a threat. They were laughable and embarrassing throughout this entire game. Mortal Kombat 4, the original Mortal Kombat 4 was so much better than this storyline and gameplay wise, even though I love the gameplay of this game. Mortal Kombat 4, while that plan didn't work either, Shinnok and Quan Chi's plan in that game was much better. Shinnok and Quan Chi invaded Edenia, enslaved Sindel, Jade, and all the other Indenians, while Kitana escaped to rendezvous with the Earthrealm warriors and Raiden, and then attacked the Elder Gods, killing the god of Earth and Fire, and sending Fujin falling from the skies to where Liu Kang was training newcomer Kai at. Raiden resolves to get the people who saved the world in the previous Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 3, to save the world in this storyline, Mortal Kombat 4, to travel to Edenia and liberate Edenia from Shinnok's forces and defend Earthrealm from Shinnok. Liu Kang confronts Shinnok and defeats him and banishes him to the and Raiden with the amulet banishes him to the Netherrealm. You see how simple that was? See how quick and simple that was? Where here we have Shinnok trying to invade Earthrealm. And why did he invade Edenia this version? Especially, this is a weakened Edenia. This Edenia doesn't have Kitana, doesn't have Earthrealm's champions to defend it. Yeah, the characters we want to play as are bad guys or supporting characters, leaving us with these lame new characters: Cassie Cage, Jaquie Briggs, Takeda, and Kung Jin. And other characters we want to play as are also like Kotal Khan, Ermac, Reptile, and Aaron Black. This cool team. Oh, they're villains. They're villains. You don't play as them in arcade mode. Kenshi is a supporting NPC character despite being a playable character. Serena's a supporting character. Lin May is not only a supporting character, but it's been decombated. Cool characters like Reiko, Malvado, Su Hao, and apparently Cobra were killed off before this game even began. In the comic books, we don't know about Cobra, but Aaron Black mentions killing him in the Mortal Kombat 11 intros. And Su Hao, Reiko, and Malvado are shown being killed by Scorpion, Havoc, and Cassie Cage. Oh yeah, give me another reason to hate Cassie Cage. Not only she beat Shinnok, but she killed my boy Movado, one of my favorite bad guys, and Red Dragon, Black Dragon members, Movado, and also beat Jarek. Jarek has never seen being killed, but Jarek appears in the comic book prequel to this game. You can see right here, this is the casing. Yeah, as you can see, I purchased a used version of this game, and the guy didn't have the actual casing like the other two. So I opened the case here. You can see the disc to your right, and the yellow is the casing the disc came in. Yeah, this game was one of the best fighting games of all time. One of the best Mortal Kombat games and fighting games of all time. And gameplay wise was awesome, but it had the worst storyline ever. It was terrible. The old Mortal Kombat and fighting games from the past barely had a storyline, and their storyline was better written than this was. This is the worst storyline ever. I don't know any game with a worse storyline than this. This was garbage. This storyline was so terrible. I've always wished fighting games especially, because fighting games, in my opinion, have these awesome storylines, had story modes like this game, like the modern games do. But this story mode was so bad. I prefer fighting in arcade tournament ladder and winning and defeating the boss character and seeing what that character did after the battle. Because this was terrible. This was terrible. The next one, which was worse or gameplay wise than this one, was at least storyline wise, was much better. Only other pro to this game is the actors from the previous game. They returned for one last time in this game with only Raiden, Kitana, and Jade returning in the quote-unquote sequel, Mortal Kombat 11.
You see it now, Raiden. Your legacy. You poisoned their hearts with hope.
So yeah, this was Mortal Kombat, oh yeah, battle stages. Battle stages are pretty cool, even though a lot of them are repetitive and kind of look the same. Look the same. They're not as good as they were in the previous one, Mortal Kombat 9, or the sequel, Mortal Kombat 11, but still a good game. I like the various character skins. You get Paz, you get Mortal Kombat 9 Tournament Johnny with the spandex. You get his new Hollywood military look, which I thought was pretty cool. You get a soccer look, which is dumb. Then you also get a ninja mime look, which is pretty funny. Liu Kang has a weird capoeira look. I mentioned the badass Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 look, and a cool alternate tournament look. You get Mortal Kombat 3 Kung Lao, a middle-aged Kung Lao, Kung Lao, and a tournament Kung Lao. With Ermac, another favorite character to play as. You get current Ermac, a Pharaoh Ermac, and Unmasked Ermac, and Mortal Kombat 3 Lin Kuei Shiryu armor, Ninja Ermac. So like I said, an awesome game. You get a lot of their classic, for the classic heroes return, you get their classic skins, and you get their modern skins, and various other alternate skins. It's awesome. And the arcade character endings are awesome. They're better than the actual story modes, especially Kung Lao's ending, which his ending was vastly disappointing, considering his ending did not happen, which had him and Kung Jin defeating the evil and Kung Lao escaping the Nether Realm. Ah, terrible.
Oh, sorry, man. Didn't see you there. Miserable wretch. Insignificant speck of feculent scum. How dare you?
So, yeah, this was Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, yeah, one other thing I didn't like about this game. This game, and it was supposed to be, this game could have easily fit on the Xbox 360. While the graphics are awesome, they're just slightly better. They're just slightly better than the last Mortal Kombat game. This game was a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One game, but it looks and plays like an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 game. But once again, it was supposed to be on those consoles, but they wanted you to buy, they wanted to badly make money for these two overrated consoles, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, so they released it as an exclusive for this. So that was its final sin. Oh yeah, and when its final sin, when you complete the story mode, you don't unlock everything, such as the Revenant characters. No, guess what I unlocked? I finally unlocked Shinnok, the lamest Shinnok ever in this video game. That's my reward for playing through this long and boring story mode. I was so happy this story mode was boring, and this is and I don't replay this story mode like I do the 11 and 9s and 8 Mortal Kombat 8 version. So yeah, storyline wise, this is the worst one NetherRealm has ever had. I was so happy when this story mode was over. Well, this has been Mortal Kombat 10 or XL. You don't want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.